Hello, hi, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel if it's your first time here. My name is Jim. We talk about, listen to, and do all sorts of things music-y. We have been listening to John Anderson and the Band Geeks with the album True. I've just finished it, and to say it's a good album is a bit of a disservice to the word good, the word album, and to John Anderson and the Band Geeks, because it is phenomenal. It is incredible. This is the record. It came out, I think, last week. It's hot off the press anyway. It's been out for about a week and a bit. It's a double record, double album. Gatefold, artwork and design by John's daughter, Deborah Anderson. I'm not overly a fan of this, I'll admit that, but you know, I've come to sort of appreciate, having just listened to the record, that really the most important thing about all of this is the music, and John Anderson, his love of his family, his wife, his children, the love of the music, and his rediscovered love of making music with these musicians. This is an absolutely incredible work, and it feels in some ways, I might be wrong about this, but I've got an idea that this might be like a swan song. I think this could be the last thing he does. And the thing that makes me think that more than anything, other than just the towering achievement of what this is that last song, Thank God. Because it feels like he's singing in there about coming home to his wife. Okay, I've lived this life. Thank God you're here. You've been waiting for me. I'm now coming back, sort of thing. And I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but it feels like that is all behind me. Now, I'm nearly 80. This is it. This is our last bit of time together, and I'm resting. Now, as I say, I could be completely wrong about that, but that's the impression I've got from that. And it felt very much like he was singing a very personal message to his wife. Personal, very public, obviously, but a personal message directly to her, and this is like a statement of intent. We had 9 tracks in total. The first 2 on side 1, True Messenger and Shine On, were singles. I think they've been out for some time, and I actually think maybe Counties and Countries has been released beforehand as well. But I've not heard these, and I've just completely overwhelmed and a little bit lost for words as to how to sort of process what we've listened to. It's extraordinary. I did sort of elaborate on a little bit at the end of the first video that for John Anderson to have got together with a new group of musicians who are as talented, but not just as talented, but actually get him and get the music of Yes so much that you could, without knowing, if you didn't know, you listening to this, you would think this is Yes. This is classic Yes from the sort of mid to late 1970s. I mean, it is phenomenal. The bass sound, the keyboard sounds, the guitar sound, and it all is absolutely in the right ballpark to be Chris Squire, to be probably Rick Wakeman on the keyboards, and to be Steve Howe on guitar. The drumming is very much sort of Alan White style as well. It's very sort of less the sort of the flamboyant-y jazz drumming of Bill Bruford, but much more Alan White's. And it's just absolutely sensational. And to marry it up with John's voice like this is, as I say, it's a match made in heaven. I'll quickly go through who the Band Geeks are again, because I did say that on one part of this, but I just need to sort of reiterate this, because I think they all need absolutely to have their moment in the spotlight, as it were. So obviously we've got John Anderson on vocals, but then we have Richie Castellano. I need to get my magnifying glass out again because I can't quite read this. Richie Castellano on bass guitar, guitar, keyboards, and vocals. Now, in the comments on my first video, people were saying that he's actually a member of the Blue Oyster Cult now, or has been for a while. So that's very interesting. We've also got Andy Ascalis, who's on drums, percussion, keyboards, vocals. I mean, they're all very multi-talented, aren't they? Andy Graziano on guitar, vocals. Christopher Clark on keyboards. Robert Kipp on Hammond organ and vocals. And then we also have Anne-Marie Nachio on additional vocals. Anne-Marie is the main singer, I think, with the band Geeks. So it's obviously a little bit sad from her point of view that she didn't get a starring role on this record, because she is obviously going to be supplemental to John Anderson. This is a John Anderson record with the band Geeks as his band. But I'm glad she's in here. She's got her sort of a backing vocal part on here, and you can. I'm guessing that was her in. Oh, what was the track? Make It Right. I think there's a lot of soaring chorus in there. I don't know what the background is between John Anderson and Yes in the modern age. I know they went their separate ways, and Yes is now the Steve Howe band. I don't suspect that Yes now has got the energy and excitement and inventiveness of this music. Are these guys doing anything new and innovative? Probably not, but they are making exciting new music, and the ideas that they've got in this just one record is I mean, it's more than anything I've heard from Yes since the last really great Yes record I heard, which I loved from start to finish, must have been maybe Drama. So there's a lot of Yes that I've loved since then, but not everything on every record has hit the mark. And I think as the band has got older, as members have left, members have died, very sadly, that the essence of the band and those that remained obviously sort of kind of getting to the point in their lives where they're sort of maybe running out of ideas and running out of steam, and that's not a criticism. That's just like a sort of fundamental fact of, like, you just can't keep up that momentum and that level of enthusiasm. Look at almost every band going. My absolute favourite band of all time, as you probably all know, is Iron Maiden, and their first 7 albums, studio albums, were absolutely fantastic. And they kind of lost it after that. They didn't lose it completely, but they went downhill. That momentum, that sort of ability to sort of keep going and keep coming up with fantastic stuff, it's exhausting. It couldn't be done. There were flashes of brilliance, and every album after that has been great. There's been good stuff on there, but it's just not. They've not been able to maintain it. And I suspect, and I'll probably make that as a truism, that is true for almost every artist. You've got to be, for these ones that go on for sort of decades, it's really hard to keep that that going. But what this has proved is that with the right young band who are learned, and I said this on the first video, they are studious. They have learnt Yes. They have learnt the Yes sound. They understand the DNA of the band, the interplay between the musicians, what makes it sound great, what they might do in this situation 40 years ago. That just goes to show that if you still have the right voice to mix in with it, you can produce something which is absolutely fantastic. I know everyone's saying it's a John Anderson solo record, but to my ears, and to a lot of people's ears, I've read in comments, it is a Yes album, but without the old Yes members. It just sounds incredible, absolutely incredible. I'm absolutely stunned by it. I think it is probably going to be one of the albums of the year. Absolutely love it, and I cannot get over how good it is. I'm very much looking forward to hearing it again. Am I hopeful that there'll be more material, more records in the future? As I say, I doubt it. I could be wrong about that, but it feels very much to me like this is a bit of a swan song from John Anderson. He's being true to himself, hence the name of the album. It's a true reflection of the music that we love. But thank God, at the end, he's talking to his wife that he's kind of coming home, and I feel it is kind of come to an end. But what an absolute highlight! What a high! What a point to go out at! I can't fault it. I literally cannot fault this record. There's so there are 9 tracks on here. There's a couple of fairly big epics. Well, one epic, which is the Once Upon a Dream on the last side, 16 and a half minutes. But we also have the nearly 10-minute Counties and Countries, which for me just was incredible. I mean, they all were, but those 2 tracks, no, not even just those 2 tracks. I can't pick it apart. Everything on here is phenomenal. Trying to think of the right word here. The positivity and the power for good that this is trying to deliver, and I think succeeds, is wonderful. In this cynical world where we have bands like Oasis trying to milk every last cent out of its fans, or of bands that just keep churning out the same stuff time after time after time, to actually come up with something new and something really good that people will want to hear live is amazing, and I love it. So there we go. It's if I'm going to do it as a 10 out of 10, or I'm going to do it out of 10, I think it's probably be it might actually be a 10 out of 10. There is nothing on here that I would change. I'll see you on the next video, whenever and whatever that is. Until then, this is Jim, over and out.